In 2029, anticipation crackled through the halls of Starfleet Academy. Nearly everyone, from the ambitious engineers sketching futuristic orbits to the ace pilots in training, had only one thing on their minds: the inaugural Solar Sail Moon Race. It was more than just a spectacle or a contest of technology. The Moon Race was a proving ground, an audition for humanity's biggest stage yet. The plan was audacious. The best performers from the race would be selected for the first crewed expeditions to the outer planets. But there was a deeper current, a historic role no one wanted to leave unclaimed. The chance to become part of the first generation, to leave a message in a bottle for the cosmos. As the solar sail teams gathered in their briefing room, below a massive mural depicting Earthrise over the lunar horizon, they were reminded of the stakes. What if all our hopes of interplanetary flight fizzled out? What if a meteorite storm or a catastrophic solar flare struck? Or if, in some future we'd rather not imagine, the tight envelope of near-Earth orbit became choked with debris, a minefield that trapped us planetside for centuries. If we left nothing but fragile satellite shells drifting above the clouds, would there be any sign we ever made it to the moon? That question lay at the heart of the Moon Tower Time Capsule project. Each participant would write a message, triumphs, histories, warnings, or poems, and seal them in layered containers set in the Moon Tower. Maybe 300 years from now, after future dreamers found a way through the shroud of space junk, they could hold in their hands the evidence that, yes, Earthlings had reached for the stars. But to race for that honor, you had to master the art of moving through space not with rockets, but with sunlight. The principle was elegantly simple. Sunlight, though weightless, carries momentum. When photons strike a reflective surface, a solar sail, they impart a tiny push. On Earth, this force is minuscule, but in the vacuum of space, with no air resistance, a broad enough sail could gently but continuously accelerate a spacecraft. It was building the solar sails that pushed human ingenuity to its edge. For maximum efficiency, the sails needed to be unimaginably thin, no thicker than a single human hair. The best theoretical material would have been pure gold, unmatched in reflectivity and lightness. But gold is so soft that the thinnest foils would tear before ever unfurling under the sun's beams. Yet it was here, in a serendipitous fusion of science and culture, that Canadian scientists made history. Instead of gold alone, they devised a composite material: gold, titanium, and Canadian maple syrup. This wasn't just patriotic flair. Maple syrup's unique chemical properties provided resilience against extreme temperatures and pressure. Its tackiness allowed gold and titanium to interlace on the nanoscale, forming a space fabric. As strong as spider silk, glimmering like sunlight on a frozen lake. Manufacturing this sail material pushed technology to its absolute limit. Assembly took place in a special absolute zero vacuum pressure hyperbaric chamber deep in Montreal. At such low temperatures and zero air pressure, atoms themselves slowed, letting the chemical reactions and molecular alignments proceed with exquisite precision. In practical terms, even transporting the delicate sail to the edge of the atmosphere was an exercise in careful choreography. Fitted into a compact CubeSat, the sail sat rolled like a bolt of silk. Here, engineers borrowed a trick from maritime history, specifically the technique tanker ships use to discharge bilge tanks. Instead of complex unfolding mechanisms, a simple pressure system would do the trick. Once the CubeSat reached 100,000 feet, high above the turbulence of any weather, Only 4 bars of pressure were needed to slowly, elegantly unroll the sail and let it catch its first sunlight. The flagship of this technology was Maple Leaf, a craft named as much for its heritage as its design. Adorned with the emblematic red maple at its core, Maple Leaf drew on centuries of Canadian innovation, from timber ships braving Atlantic storms to radio beacons guiding northern pilots through the aurora. Its team knew that winning the moon race was only half the prize. More important was ensuring that when future explorers or even distant intelligences discovered the shining gold titanium sail up there, they'd know where it came from. As launch day dawned, every eye at the Academy, and millions more across Earth, watched Maple Leaf unfurl and catch the sun. Slowly, gently, it began its steady chase to the moon. Bound within it were not just the dreams of a nation, but a message for eternity. We came this far. We reached out together. If you find this, keep going.